Alrighty, Will here with Vulture Premium Leather. Today, we're going to be remaking a Gucci belt. Fancy. This belt has seemed to have had a bit of a rough life. A dog has apparently chewed on it, or it could be a nutria rat down here, you never know. Got some extra holes that have been punched, so I'll resize the belt and establish the final length from these new holes that fit properly. I got a great black bridal leather in my inventory that should match this really well. It'll in fact be a nicer, higher quality leather, so I'm sure my customer will appreciate that. This belt appears to be 2 layers of leather. Front, grain side is just nice grain leather. But the back appears to be split leather that's been refinished, slicked down and dyed black. So it's kind of an odd choice, I guess. If you're going to use 2 layers of leather, why not use 2 nice layers? So that's what I'm going to do. Let's rip some straps. Get this party started. Go. Okay, we got our nice beautiful bridle strap all ripped. This original belt is 3.5 millimeters thick. The strap that I just ripped is 2.2 millimeters thick. As this will be a 2-layer belt, I need to split this down to 1.75 millimeters to achieve a total thickness of 3.5 when it's finally glued together. To accomplish this, we will now go to my band knife splitter. Yo dog! Welcome to my band knife splitter. This is the throat right chomp. This is where the magic happens. Alright, time to stop screwing around now. The real work is about to start. I'm going to take this strap, I'm going to cut it in half lengthwise. That's not right. I'm going to cut this strap in half and apply glue to it. I'm going to come in with my top layer here. Square it up. Easier said than done. Straight as an arrow. Time flies like an arrow, fruit flies like a banana. Now we roll. Now we hammer. Now that we have our beautiful strap laminated, it's time to take it down to its final dimension as far as width goes. So right now it's about 15 millimeters too wide. That means we need to take this strap cutter, set it 7.5 millimeters less than it currently is, rip the strap. Then we'll set it another 7.5 millimeters smaller, turn the strap over and rip that. So now we have a nice clean edge on each side of the strap and it'll be the appropriate dimension as far as the width goes. Oh, hello, I didn't see you there. When I'm ripping a narrow strap as opposed to ripping off of a hide, I like to immobilize the strap cutter by clamping it to a table. That way you can be much more precise because you don't have to worry about holding 2 items at one time. Okay, last cut we placed this side against the fence and established a nice clean edge on this side of the strap. Now we're going to place this clean edge against the fence and rip our nice new fresh edge on the other side. This will result in a belt width of 40 millimeters, exactly what we need, with nice, clean, flush edges ready for edge paint. The original belt has a squared off tip with slightly radius corners. So in order to accomplish that on this blank, I'm going to cut this square and then use one of these corner punches to radius the corners. And now I'm going to remove the back layer of leather to thin out the fold over portion that will go around the buckle. This is a very tricky process, and you must be very careful not to cut through the bottom layer of leather because you will create a weak point in the belt. Here you should be able to see the effect that I've created. We've got our double layer of leather right here and our single layer of leather right here. The belt buckle will be placed right here, and this will fold over nicely. Now that I have this belt cut down to size and the fold over thinned out, it's time to apply edge paint. This is a slow and tedious process, and there's just no way around that. I'll do my first coat, let it dry, and then heat it with my French creasing iron. All done heating, fairly smooth. Now it's time to sand it down. Now it's time to make a keeper for the belt. It's time to cut it down to its final dimension. Okay, now it's time to sew the belt. Time to size and sew the keeper, and then we're almost done with this belt. Now that I have this keeper all finished and sized up, the last part is to transfer the buckle from the old belt to the new belt. Now it's time to stitch.
Make sure I don't pierce my thread. Again.
Here you can see the saddle stitch and floating keeper. Here you can see the reverse side of the belt with the keeper leash. When punching holes, I like to be as precise as possible, so I always draw up a template on a CAD program. Nothing looks worse than wonky holes. Time to print. Well, there you have it. That is how you make a belt. I'd like to thank anybody who stuck this video through to the end. I'm by no means a YouTuber, but I guess with practice I'll get better. And I look forward to sharing some of the items I make with y'all. If you got any comments, criticisms, constructive criticisms, I'd love to hear them, how to make these videos better. I didn't get too much into the details of the processes that I was executing on this belt. I plan on making videos in the future dedicated to each of the operations, you know, hand stitching, machine stitching, edge painting, you know, creasing and all that stuff. Although I didn't do any creasing on this belt because the one I was replicating didn't have any creasing. So I guess that about wraps it up. Till next time, leather nerds.